The D-Day landings. The Normandy landings, also commonly known as the D-Day landings, or codenamed Operation Neptune, occurred on Tuesday the 6th of June 1944. It was the landing operation in the Allied invasion of Normandy in Operation Overlord during World War. After the German army invaded the Soviet Union in June 1941, Joseph Stalin started to press his new allies for a second front in Western Europe. In late May of 1942, the Soviet Union and the United States made a joint announcement that a full understanding was reached with regard to urgent tasks of creating a second front in Europe in 1942. By mid-1943, Soviet forces were on the offense and had won a major victory at the Battle of Stalingrad. At the Tehran Conference in November 1943, Roosevelt and Churchill promised Stalin that they would open the long-delayed Second Front in May 1944. 4 sites were considered for the landings: Brittany, the Cotentin Peninsula, Normandy, and the Pas-de-Calais. As Brittany and Cotentin are peninsulas, it would have been possible for the Germans to cut off the Allied advance at the relatively narrow isthmus, so these sites were rejected. With the Pas-de-Calais being the closest point in continental Europe to Britain, the Germans considered it to be the most likely internal landing zone. It was the most heavily fortified region. Normandy was the only obvious choice. This is a map of where the battles occurred. 5 beaches that were included in the D-Day landings are Utah Beach, Omaha Beach, Gold Beach, Juno Beach, and Sword Beach. Allies landed around 156,000 troops in Normandy. The American forces landed 73,000 troops. The British and Canadian landed 83,115 troops. Over 425,000 Allied and German troops were killed, wounded, or went missing during the Battle of Normandy. On the 6th of June 1944, 6:30 a.m., troops began coming ashore on a 50-mile front. Thousands of paratroopers and glide troops were already on the ground behind enemy lines, securing bridges and exit roads. At the end of the day, approximately 156,000 Allied troops had successfully stormed Normandy beaches. The Normandy invasion began to turn the tide against the Nazis. D-Day landing was the largest naval, air, and land operation in history. D-Day was the beginning of the end for not only Germans but Hitler and his reign. It forced the Germans to fight a two-front war again, just as they did in World War I. D-Day landing could potentially be the most important battle in World War II. The German army suffered more in Normandy than they did in Stalingrad or North Africa in 1940. Thank you for listening.